Hello everyone, my name is Willis Boussier and my major is in network security. The title of my student innovation project is called Audio-Based Authentication. The technical field that audio-based authentication falls under is network security. The inspiration for this project came from my own dissatisfaction with the authentication segment of the login process for my email accounts and other online accounts. When clicking on images or continuously verifying I wasn't a robot through CAPTCHA, I thought the process could use another more intuitive option that provides a different process for users to interact with. This project entails the creation of an audio-based authentication process which requires that while logging in, the user of an internet account listen to a brief recording of a word and then type what they heard into an entry field. If the audio matches what the user types, then they will be authenticated as the user and thus further eliminate the chance that a computer system is attempting login. This process will give users a more intuitive and straightforward login or authentication process, which also enhances the level of security for online accounts by requiring an actual person on the other side of the process interpreting the sound being played and providing input. For my innovation claim, I stated, audio-based authentication is an innovative approach to the login process because the act of listening to a word and then typing what was heard into an entry field represents a new and novel way to authenticate a user during the login process for internet accounts. Here we can see a rendering of the audio-based authentication interface. Above is a play sound button that when clicked, the user will hear a word over their audio device or headphones. The user will then interpret that word and enter it into the entry field and then finally click enter for the authentication process to either confirm or deny their entry. For the development team and their responsibilities, there will be a group of 6 to 7 programmers who are responsible for building the interface and ensuring functionality. They'll also be responsible for ensuring the integratability of various implementations on multiple systems. There'll be a group of 3 to 4 audio and media engineers who design the front-end appearance and create the database of audio to be used. The timeline for a minimal viable product will be about 6 months. The demographic that audio-based authentication is intended to reach is very broad. If implemented as desired, this audio-based authentication method would become synonymous with the logging in process for any online accounts that employ measures to indicate whether a computer system or an actual user is logging in. As internet accounts are the tool in which most, if not nearly everyone, manages their lives, anyone who needs to log in securely could use audio-based authentication. Excluding the disabled and the very young, this authentication method could be employed perhaps in an age range of 6 to 99 years old. No particular industry would be able to function in today's world without an online component that needs to be secured. Additionally, the target market would consist of companies like banks, internet providers, email providers, and generally, as mentioned, anyone that uses an internet login interface. The work that has helped to inspire and precedes the concept of audio-based authentication comes in the form of speech recognition, which is a variation of biometrics, and also from CAPTCHA. Biometrics are a term that describe physical markers from the user like fingerprints or facial features. Speech recognition is also a form of biometrics. Speech recognition functions by separating portions of a recording of a user's voice like tones, verbal inflection, and volume to create a unique user profile. Although this is similar to the concept of audio-based authentication, the concept being pitched uses an established database of sounds that the user doesn't simply emote or repeat verbally, but types what was heard into an entry field. The term CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test. CAPTCHAs are challenges that are difficult for computer systems to complete, but mostly easy for human users. This could be clicking on specific images within a group of images, or identifying the output of stretched words, numbers, and more. The one particular CAPTCHA that is most similar to audio-based authentication is called audio CAPTCHA, which is designed for visually impaired users. They listen to a series of letters or numbers presented with background noise and then enter what they heard into a type field. This is different from the idea of audio-based authentication, which presents whole words with no background noise, and it is not intended solely for visually impaired users. Audio CAPTCHA can also be difficult to interpret for users. Here are examples of prior art cited. We have voice authentication, how it works, and is it secure? Why is nobody talking much about sound-based authentication while it's so widely used? And what does CAPTCHA mean? In conclusion, again, my name is Willis Boussier, and my major is in network security. And to repeat the innovation claim, audio-based authentication is an innovative approach to the login process because the act of listening to a word and then typing what was heard into an entry field represents a new and novel way to authenticate a user during the login process for internet accounts. Thank you.